Hey, Red Earth team, what's happening? This is Matt Ham, co-founder of Uprint, Faith and Personal Development Organization, and it is Thursday, which means it's time for one of our challenge videos. The purpose behind the challenge videos is a short, kind of compact, direct video aimed at a specific topic with a couple of practical ideas and steps that you can take to move you in the direction of excellence. And today, as you can see on the screen behind me, we are talking about steps of faith. You know, a lot of times I think folks believe that faith is about a big leap or a big jump, or faith is directly tied to kind of Western culture, and faith is church or religion, and it's oppressive, and everybody has their opinions about it. But I want to kind of clear the slate and use a new kind of picture to talk about what faith is. We like to talk about faith as jumping out of an airplane. And now, John is a pilot. He flies perfectly good aircraft, and we never want to have to jump out of an airplane. But if you were going to jump out of an airplane, you'd want to make sure that you have a parachute attached to your back, and people do this for fun, apparently. It's called skydiving. I've never done it. I don't really have a desire to do it. If you've done it, this picture might resonate with you. If not, of course, you can imagine it. The idea is that when you are jumping out of the aircraft, that is a leap of faith. And the parachute will not open until you jump. And it takes the act of actually stepping out of the plane and plunging down for the parachute to open and be effective. And faith can be viewed that way. Now, a lot of times I think when you talk about it, it seems very ominous, like it's this big, giant thing that's unapproachable. But it also takes faith to get into the airplane. It takes faith to move from the airplane to the door. There are many steps along the way, not necessarily just the leap of faith. And so when you think about this, faith is not this big destination that we get to, but it's a series of small steps that we take along the way. You know, like I said, if you ever were to jump out of an airplane, you'd actually probably have to look up where you could do that. That's a step of faith. You're saying, okay, I'm going to take this step and find out where I could even do this. Then you've actually got to make your commitment or your payment. Then you have to have the faith to actually show up on the day of the jump. Then you have to have the faith to get out of the bathroom and, get into the aircraft. Then you have to have faith in the aircraft to take the steps toward the door. So the steps of faith is more of what I want us to focus on today. You see, because there's things in your future that you believe in, the things in your future that you want, and they sometimes seem so ominous that you actually give up on them, and you throw in the towel and you go, okay, well, I guess maybe next year, or maybe that's not for me, and you give up on it, instead of breaking it up into small steps of faith that you can take along the way. You see, the big thing kind of happens when you do small things well along the way. It's like eat an elephant one bite at a time. But faith is the same way. So if you guys have something ahead of you, something that you want to accomplish, something that is tied directly to your sales or your community, maybe it's something personal that you want to do, you've got to set up steps along the way or markers that you can achieve in order to move in that direction. And so it's great to set a big vision or a big goal, to have faith in this big thing, but it actually is walked out one step at a time. And a lot of times I think we get lost in this big idea that we're unwilling to take the small steps along the way. So, for example, if you have a goal set that you want to sell 20 homes this year, and you set that out there as this marker, this thing that you're having faith in, 20 homes, what do you have to do in order to get there? Well, I would say here are some practical, tangible steps. If you want to sell 20, okay, that means that you probably need to sell 2 a month. Based on how many stick and how many fall off, that'd probably be the right number. Well, if you're going to sell 2 a month, what does that mean? That means you need to sell 1 every 2 weeks, okay? And so if you're going to sell 1 every 2 weeks, well, what do you have to do? All right, well, you've got to make a certain number of phone calls. You have to have a certain number of follow-ups. Maybe you have to network with a certain number of individuals. Maybe you have to send a certain number of handwritten notes. Maybe you have to just get up and show up and be in the office every day. Now, maybe you just have to make sure that you're practicing your front end speech. Make sure that you're practicing your closing dynamics. Make sure that you understand the layouts, the floor plans, the pricing structures, the available home sites. There are so many things that go into the big goal that you have, the big thing of faith. And if you don't do the small steps along the way, you're going to find that you get paralyzed and you stop moving forward altogether. So I would challenge you to kind of break the big idea down into smaller steps that are more tangible, more digestible, that you can begin to build into kind of your daily practice. Now, when it comes to another dynamic of faith that I really believe in, and that is envisioning it. So you have to envision what it feels like when you achieve that goal or take that leap or step into that thing. You have to feel what it feels like to be in a relationship with a new customer, asking and answering questions. You have to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally for the thing that you're going to step into. It's not like you just step into it and just kind of go off the cuff. That just doesn't work. So I would challenge you guys is to begin constructing your habits in your life around small steps of faith that you can take that lead you toward the big desired outcome. And if you're faithful enough to carry out those small steps of faith, the process of faith is the promise that the outcome will take care of itself. And that can be really offensive. Folks don't understand it. It doesn't seem to make sense. But if you approach it that way, I think you'll find a lot of peace in the process, and then B, that's actually how things happen. And you can find more joy in navigating your days, because if you're behind or something's not working out, you always go back down to square one. What can I do today? What can I do right now in this moment to take back control or charge over the outcome by doing the thing that I know that I can do and need to do in order to move me in that direction. So be encouraged today. If things might seem off, you can make a decision today to hit reset, go back to square one, and start practicing those tangible steps of faith that are going to move you in the direction that you desire to go. So that being said, that's the challenge video for today. If anyone wants to connect one-to-one, feel free to do so. You can reach me 910-619-4644 or email matt@youprint.life. That's Matt, M-A-T-T, @YOUPRINT.LIFE. Y'all have a great day.